Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. This is the part 8, the last video for chapter number 3, acid, bases and salts. And today we'll learn in this video about the preparation of salts. The preparation of the salts will be divided into two parts. First we'll see the preparation of the soluble salts, then we'll have a discussion on the preparation of insoluble salts. But before moving to the preparation, we have a very important concept or a table that is called as the metal activity series. That is important to learn for us to be able to understand the various kinds of reactions that are happening. So this series, the metal activity series, is what? It is the arrangement of different metals in decreasing order of the reactivity. The metal at the top, that is in this case here we can see potassium, sodium, calcium and so on. The metals have been arranged one after the other. So the metal which is upwards, which is at the top, will be called as the most reactive metal. And as we go downwards now, as we move downwards in this series, we will see, we will experience that the metal activity, the reactivity, the ability of the reaction of that particular metal will decrease. So finally it will end up with gold. Gold is at the bottom, that is the least reactive metals. All the metals are arranged here. Here you can see hydrogen has been given in bracket. That is actually because hydrogen is a non-metal. It is not a metal, but still it is forming a part of this series. Just for reference, hydrogen is a reference point. Similarly, you can see here carbon is also given here just for reference. Especially carbon will be using in details, it will be referred to in the organic chemistry more. It will be used. So you have to learn these all, the reactivity series you have to learn. So there are various tricks, various short tricks are there. I am sharing one of them for you. You can also find many such mnemonics, many such short tricks are there to learn this reactivity series. One of them is given here, and you can remember this reactivity series using this short mnemonic. Let us now proceed to the topic, that is the preparation of soluble salts. So here we begin now the preparation of the salts. The first is methods of preparing soluble salts. There are different types of methods are there for preparing salts, and here what is given is the best form of preparation. What can be the best method of preparing a salt? A single salt can be prepared in many methods, but what is being given here is the best method, the best way we can prepare that particular salt. First type of preparation of the salt is direct combination. Directly we are taking two elements, both the elements are reacting with each other. This reaction can happen with heating or without heating also. That depends on the reactivity, the ability of reaction. Generally heating is required. So two metals are reacted with each other, and what will form as a result will be the salt. So here is the general reaction. Metal plus non-metal will give what? It will give a salt. Let me zoom in so that you can be able to see. So metal plus non-metal, one metal reacts with another non-metal, what we are getting is salt. Example is given here, like sodium metal. Sodium reacts with chlorine, and as a result what is forming is a salt, that is NaCl, that is a salt is forming. So that is the simple method. Metal reacts with non-metal to form a particular salt. This method is called as direct combination. The name of this method is direct combination. So in the exam they can give a particular salt and they can ask you the name of the method by which it is prepared. So both the ways you have to learn. Means direct combination, which salt can be prepared, that you have to remember. Similarly they can give a salt and they can ask the method, what is the method used to prepare this. So both the ways you have to remember. Second, one more example is given here. Iron metal, that is Fe, it combines with chlorine, it reacts with chlorine, and what is forming as a result is FeCl3. Here FeCl3 is there, so that means iron valency is what? It is 3. You should be thorough with the valencies. That is the concept you have learned in the 9th class. So if 3 goes there, transposing, it will be coming Fe is 3, valency is 3. So that is why it is ferric chloride. Iron is having two valencies, Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. If it is Fe2 plus, then it will form, then it should have been FeCl2. It is not FeCl2, it is FeCl3. That means iron valency is 3. Next, now one more is given, aluminium and chlorine. Aluminium is also a metal, it reacts with chlorine, that is a non-metal, and what we are getting is aluminium chloride, that is a salt. So this is a simple reaction. Two elements on heating together, they are giving us a salt. The first one, that is sodium and chlorine. Sodium is so much reactive here, heating is not that much required. Next, now the second method of preparing the soluble salt is displacement reaction. What is displacement reaction? For that we need to refer to the metal activity series. For reference, I have kept it the metal activity series I have kept in this corner of the screen. You can see it. We will see the examples and we will refer to the metal activity series. First of all, let us know what is the meaning of the displacement reaction. Here, a more reactive metal, the metal which is placed above in the metal activity series, that is more reactive metal, will displace. Displace means it will remove that particular element from its own position. Displace what? It will displace the less reactive metal. More reactive element or metal displaces or removes the less reactive metal from its position. That reaction is called as displacement reaction. Displacement, this term in English language, means changing the position, changing the position of one individual or any substance. So here what is happening? A particular metallic atom is changing the position of another metallic element. The one which is changing, that is more reactive one, can replace or displace is better word, can displace a less reactive metal. Here let us see now the examples. First example they have given here is zinc plus H2SO4. Now here zinc is the metal. Here zinc is the metal and it will displace hydrogen. Now if we see in the metal activity series, zinc is placed above hydrogen. Hydrogen is here near the arrow, you can see hydrogen is there. Upside there zinc is there. So because zinc is above hydrogen in the metal activity series, that means it is more reactive, and as a result what will happen? Zinc will occupy the position of hydrogen, and what will form in place of H, Zn we will write, and it will form what? It will form ZnSO4. That is the salt that is forming. So the reaction in complete form we will write zinc react with sulfuric acid. It displaces hydrogen there, and what is formed is ZnSO4. Now hydrogen is removed, that liberates in the form of hydrogen gas, that liberates in the air. So this is how the salt, that is zinc sulfate, is formed. Similarly, one more example is given. Iron, that is a metal, it reacts on this acid is containing hydrogen. HCl is an acid, so metal react with an acid, that is the equation. This is what? This is metal, and we can say this is active metal. Active metal means which are generally more reactive, which are placed above hydrogen. All the metals which are placed above hydrogen in the activity series are generally referred as active metals. So active metal will react with acid, and what we will get is called as salt. We will get salt. Now which salt we will get? Iron is replacing hydrogen here, so we will get another salt, that is FeCl2. That is depending on the valency of iron. So if FeCl2 is given as the salt, that means iron should be having valency 2 here. Next is what is liberated outside, that is hydrogen gas. So general equation also you remember, that is metal, that is active metal plus acid gives us salt plus hydrogen. Here in the above part it is given acid is reacting with active metal, and what is produced is salt plus hydrogen. By the general reactions we can form a large number of equations. In the book only 1 or 2 are given examples, but with the help of general equation we can understand the overall reaction. Different kinds of reaction can be formed using these general equations. So this is, I hope it is clear, simple displacement. Now the third method of preparing the soluble salt is decomposition reaction. Decomposition means what? That is the single substance is breaking down into smaller elements. Here it is given decomposition what? A compound is breaking down into smaller or simpler compounds. So here we will see a bigger compound is there, and it will react with acid and break down into several smaller compounds. These reactions we have already seen, the decomposition reaction as well as the displacement reaction we have already learned in the properties of acids. These are all repeating here. So same reaction you have learned in acids also. Acid react with active metal and salt and hydrogen is produced. Similarly, acid react with carbonate. What is produced? That is salt, water, carbon dioxide. I hope if you have learned the reactions of acid, you may be memorizing this. You may be recalling this. So these same reactions are here only, which we have learned in the properties of acid. So let us have the general equation now. Carbonate plus acid. Carbonate is what? Carbonate is CO3 2 minus ion. So any compound which is containing carbon CO3, that is carbonate, it will react with acid. Carbonate react with acid, and what is produced? The product side what will come? That will be salt will come. That is the purpose of this reaction. We have to make a salt, preparing a salt. So salt will produce plus water will form. Always water will form whatever the reaction nature is there. Just a minute. Whatever the reaction nature is there, water will form, and also one more gas will produce, that is CO2. This CO2 you have to remember, whenever carbonate is there in the reactant side, always we will get CO2 gas that will be produced in this reaction. Similarly, bicarbonate. What is bicarbonate? Bicarbonate is HCO3 negative. HCO3 negative is the bicarbonate ion. We can also call it as hydrogen carbonate. For an example, any compound which is containing hydrogen carbonate, the first equation that is given, sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is sodium bicarbonate. It reacts with acid, and what we are getting, let us zoom in here for more clarity. Yes, it is given here. Now sodium hydrogen carbonate, it will react with HCl. Now what is actually happening here? This reaction is happening in this method. HCl dissociates into ions H plus and Cl minus. Similarly, this sodium bicarbonate, it also dissociates into two parts. What are those parts? They are Na plus, and another one will be HCO3 minus. NaHCO3 dissociates into two parts. Now here again there will be attraction between the opposite charges, that is Na plus and Cl minus will attract each other, and what we will get? We will get the salt, that is NaCl. Now you may be confused. Now here another attraction is there between H plus and HCO3 minus. What will form? Generally it should form as H2CO3, that is an acid. Then why we are not writing here H2CO3? We have not written H2CO3, we have written H2CO2. Why is it so? Because you may recall in the topic of acid we have learned about two types of acids, strong and weak acids, and H2CO3 is what? It is a weak acid. Because it is a weak acid, it will dissociate very fastly. It will form in the reaction, but it is for a fraction of seconds only, for a very short time, and because being a weak acid, it will dissociate again into two parts. It will break down into two parts. One will become H2O, another one will become CO2. That is why the final products will not show the presence of H2CO3. We will get H2O and CO2. So that should be clear now. Sodium bicarbonate, that is any bicarbonate, not only this. Next equation also you can see calcium bicarbonate, it reacts with the acid. Here they have taken nitric acid. So now what will happen? Calcium, that is the positive salt, the positive part, that is calcium, will attract the negative part, that is nitrate, NO3 minus, and what will get? Calcium nitrate, CaNO3 whole twice, and remaining part will be water and CO2. Third equation you can see now, another is for carbonate. So here also copper is the positive part, Cu2 plus. Here what is the negative part? Cl minus. So what we will get? Transpose this, you will get CuCl2. So that is the salt that is forming. Remaining thing is water and carbon dioxide. Last equation is given MgCO3, that is magnesium. Magnesium is 2 plus. The valency should be you should be remembering. If it is not, then you search for these valencies. Otherwise it will be very difficult to memorize these equations. These are very simple. These become very simple if you know the valencies of different ions. So be thorough with the valencies. Another one now, magnesium Mg2 plus, and sulfate is what? Sulfate is SO4 2 minus. Now again if you transpose this, what will form? It will form MgSO4, because 2 is cancelled with 2. 2 plus and 2 minus is cancelled. So we will get the salt, that is MgSO4. Remaining thing, what is there? Remaining thing is H2 and CO3. H2CO3 will not form. What will form? H2O and CO2, because H2CO3 is a weak acid. So all this we have seen about the carbonates and the bicarbonate. This is also the property of acid. Any acid on reacting with carbonate and bicarbonate gives salt, water and CO2. Next is decomposition reaction only. That is with the case of the sulfite. Sulfite is what? Sulfite is SO3 2 minus. Like carbonate is CO3 2 minus, similarly sulfite is SO3 2 minus. Next you can see here hydrogen sulfite. Hydrogen sulfite is what? That is HSO3 minus. Like hydrogen carbonate, what we said? Hydrogen carbonate HCO3 minus. Similarly hydrogen sulfite is what? HSO3 minus. The ions, remember them. Next now let us see these examples about the sulfites. here we have a sulfide. So here general equation they have not mentioned in the book, but we can write on our own, we can write. So what is the general equation or reaction that is going on? That is metal sulfide, that is SO3 only. It react with acid, and what we are getting, we will get three things. One is salt, second thing will be water, and third thing will be SO2 gas. In the case of carbonate and bicarbonates, we are getting carbon dioxide, but in the case of this sulfides and bisulfides, bisulfide means HSO3, we are getting SO2 gas. So gas, you remember, CO2 will form from carbonate, SO2 will form from sulfides, SO3. So that gas you will remember. Now you will see the equation. This is metal sulfide, sodium is the metal here. So sodium will combine with what? It will combine with the negative radical, that is in the acid here, HCl. HCl is H plus and Cl minus. So Cl minus will combine with the positive part of the metal, of the salt, of the sulfide, that is sodium sulfide here. So here sodium combines with chlorine, and what we are getting is the salt, that is NaCl. Remaining part is what? If you have learned the general equation yourself, you can write. No need to look at the reactant side also. So that is salt plus remaining thing, that is water, plus that is SO2 gas, sulfur dioxide gas. Next one equation, you can see another metal they have given, that is copper, and its sulfide is copper sulfide. So copper sulfide, here copper will be extracted, it will be dissociated, and it will form bonding with nitrate there. Copper nitrate will form, that is the salt is coming, remaining is water and sulfur dioxide. Third equation is about the bisulfite or hydrogen sulfide. So NaHSO3, that is into two parts, Na plus HSO3 minus. Next one is acid. What is the acid here? In this reaction we are having HCl. HCl will form H plus and Cl minus. Now opposite charges attract, and what they are forming? They are forming Na and Cl bonding together. That will give us what? That will give us NaCl. Remaining thing will form what? It will give us H2O plus SO2. Now the third type of the decomposition is also given, that is for the case of the sulfides. Now what are sulfides? Sulfides are S, valency is 2 minus, S and valency is 2 minus. So any of the sulfides, when they are reacting with acid, what we will get? We will get the salt, particular salt will form, and another gas will form, that is hydrogen sulfide. So general equation we can write like metal sulfide. Any metal sulfide react with acid, and what we are getting? We are getting two things now, not three things like earlier. We are getting two things. One will be salt, and another one will be H2S gas, that is hydrogen sulfide gas will form. So in all three cases different gases are formed: carbonate, CO2, sulfide, and hydrogen sulfide. So sulfur dioxide will form, and in case of sulfides, here we will get hydrogen sulfide, H2S gas. Now let us see the examples that are given here. Here we have been given metal sulfide. Metal is what here? In this case potassium. K2S is potassium sulfide. So potassium sulfide, here potassium will bond with sulfate, that will form potassium sulfate, K2SO4. Remaining thing is what? Remaining thing is hydrogen sulfide gas will form. Second equation also similar, zinc sulfide, that is Zn2 plus is the valency of zinc, S2 minus is the valency of sulfide. So that is how zinc sulfide is formed. Another part is what? That is H2SO4. Here again zinc will bond, it will form a bond with what? It will form a bond with sulfate, that is SO4 2 minus, and as a result we will get what? We will get zinc sulfate, ZnSO4. So that is the salt that is forming, and another gas, that is hydrogen sulfide, is formed in this reaction also. So this is all about the different types of decomposition reaction. Everywhere the general equation at least you learn. Next, now we have the neutralization reaction. The point number 4 and 5 are both neutralization reaction, but this neutralization reaction also is divided into two parts. That is why they have given separately. Let us understand this neutralization reaction. Already we have been learning, that is what? Acid plus base. Any acid react with base, what we are getting is salt and water. That is how salt can be prepared. Salt is prepared by the reaction of acid and base. That is a very common reaction. Multiple times in this chapter we have studied the same reaction. So let us have a look at this as well. Now what I said is there is a special category of neutralization reaction only. What is that called? It is called as titration. What is it? It is titration, and this will form a very important part of the chemistry practical in the class 11th and 12th. It is a very important practical also. So now you learn the theory. Next year onwards you will be having the practical of titration reaction. So what is happening in this titration reaction is that neutralization reaction only. But why it is separate now? Why it is not called a neutralization only? Why it is separate? That is in case the base, if we are doing the neutralization reaction using an alkali, what I said is alkali. If any alkali is participating in the neutralization reaction, then that type of neutralization reaction is called what? It is called titration. In all these equations you can see here, you can see, or what we have written here in the general equation is soluble base. If soluble base is there, that means alkali is there, that is called titration. If insoluble base is there, then it is called neutralization reaction. Titration is also neutralization reaction, but it is kept as a separate category because there alkalis are participating. If we are doing titration, then it is soluble base is there. If we are not doing with the, if we are not using the soluble base, then it is only called as neutralization only. But both the cases reaction is happening in the similar manner only, that is acid base gives salt and water. Both the equations you can see same products are forming, salt and water will form. So let us see the examples here. First is, here we can see nitric acid plus, that is an alkali, NaOH. Here you can see now Na, that is Na plus will combine with what? With the negative radical of the acid, that is in our example, in this present example is what? That is nitrate. So what is forming is NaNO3, sodium nitrate is formed, that is the salt, and another thing is water. The remaining equations are also similar. One more, let us take ammonium hydroxide, that is also an alkali. Ammonium is NH4 plus. It will form a bond with what? Cl, chloride ion of the HCl acid. So as a result, what forms there? We are getting ammonium chloride. Remaining thing is water. Next also you can see here remaining are equations are with the insoluble base. If the acid is reacted with insoluble base, it is called what? It is called neutralization reaction, and all these are insoluble base. Water soluble and insoluble base we have already learned in the earlier chapter. In the earlier videos we have seen only three are there: NaOH, KOH and NH4OH. Only these are what are called as soluble bases. Calcium hydroxide also you can take, it is sparingly soluble. These are all highly soluble. These are the soluble bases. So these are alkalis. Remaining all you can say they are insoluble bases. So here also similar reaction: magnesium positive radical, chlorine, that is chloride is negative radical, it forms the salt, MgCl2, remaining thing will be water. Similarly more other reaction also can be summed up. Last one is the last method of the soluble bases we can prepare is by the action of alkalis. We are using soluble bases and reacting them with any of the active metals and their oxide or hydroxide. Means this reaction is of the alkalis only. Alkalis are reacting with metals. It can be metal, or it can be, in place of metal we can take what? We can also react the metal oxides. Alkali we can react with metal oxide also. Another way, one more method is there, that is we can also react the alkali with metal hydroxide. So three types are there. Alkali can be reacted with metal, alkali can be reacted with metal oxide, or alkali can be reacted with metal hydroxide. What will form? What will form is given here. Let us see these examples. First one, if we are doing the reaction of metal and alkali, if metal and alkali are there, we will get the salt. Salt is forming in all, but the difference lies here. Then salt will form, and another thing will be hydrogen gas. If metal is there, salt plus hydrogen gas will form. But if metal oxide is there, metal oxide or metal hydroxide, if we are using metal oxide and hydroxide with the alkali, then what will form? Then we will get the salt, and we will not get hydrogen this time, we will get H2O. So this is the difference only. If we are reacting alkali with normal metal only, we will get hydrogen gas and salt. If we are using metal oxide or metal hydroxide in place of metal, then what we will get is we will get water. That is the difference. That is in the general equation form we can write. So all these equations you can see here. Now one more thing you can see, notice the difference here. What is formed here? This thing is NaAlO2. Let us see the equation first. Here it is metal aluminium reacts with alkali, that is NaOH, and in the presence of water the reaction is happening. So what is forming as a result? It is forming the salt. Salt is NaAlO2 plus hydrogen. Now this salt is looking a bit complex. What is it? What is this kind of salt known as? In the yesterday's class, in the earlier previous video only, that we have learned the types of salts. So that here you can see here two types of positive radical are there. Na is also positive radical, Na plus. Similarly, aluminium is also a positive radical. So two positive radicals are in the single salt only, and only one negative radical is there, that is oxygen. Only one negative radical is there, that is oxygen. Two positive and one negative radical. What does it mean? What kind of salt is it? If you have learned the types of salt, you may be knowing. This is which type of salt? This is a mixed salt. This is what? This is a mixed salt that is forming. All these examples which are given here, you can notice two positive radicals are there and only one negative radical is there, that is oxygen. Two positive radical, one negative radical. That means what? It is a mixed salt, and mixed salt are formed in these reactions when we are using alkali with metal or metal oxide hydroxides. What is the name of this? These names you have to remember. NaAlO2 is sodium aluminate. Let me write. That is sodium aluminate, NaAlUminate, sodium aluminate. Second one, here you can see NaAlO2, that is also sodium aluminate. Then here we have NaZnO2. This is what? This is sodium zincate, because we have used what? We have used zinc in this case. Earlier cases you can see aluminium oxide, aluminium hydroxide. All the cases aluminium was the metal only. It can be with oxide or hydroxide also, but still same salt will form. The difference will come where? Difference will come in hydrogen and water. That is the difference only. Now another case you can see here, all the three examples, remaining three equations, all the cases zinc is the metal. Because zinc is the metal, therefore we are getting zincate ion. ZnO2 is zincate. And in the alkali you see here now, NaOH is there, so then sodium zincate. KOH, this time potassium is there in the alkali, so it will form potassium zincate. This is K2ZnO2, that is what? Potassium zincate. Last one also is potassium zincate. So this is zincate ion. ZnO2 is the zincate ion. So this is all about the different methods of preparing the soluble salts. We have seen different methods, from the direct combination, displacement reaction, decomposition of different types, neutralization reaction of two types. With the soluble base it is titration, insoluble base it is called neutralization only, and the last one, action of alkalis on the metal oxides, metal hydroxides. So that is all for this soluble salts. Now we will move to the preparation of insoluble salts. Here we have the preparation of the insoluble salts, and in this only three methods are there for preparing the insoluble salts. The first method is by direct combination. You can also write synthesis, direct synthesis or direct combination. Like in the soluble salt, here also we can do the same method. We can take a metal and a non-metal and they react to form what is called as insoluble salt. Examples you can see, like lead reacts with sulfur, and what we are getting? Lead sulfide, PbS. Second one, iron reacts with sulfur. On heating, what we will get is iron sulfide, and both of these are what? They are insoluble salts. All the sulfides are insoluble, we have learned. Next question, point number 2 here, that is the second method here, that is by combination of acidic oxide with the basic oxide. Acidic oxide means what? Any oxide, any metal oxide which dissolve in water to form acid. For example, SO2, this is an acidic oxide. Why is it so? When it is dissolved in water, it will give H2SO3, that is an acid. Similarly, another one, we can take basic oxide. Basic oxide is what? Which react with water, which dissolve in water. For example, calcium oxide, it is a basic oxide. When we dissolve this in water, what we will get? We will get CaOH2. CaOH2 is what? CaOH2, calcium hydroxide, is a base. So any oxide dissolving in water gives acid, that is acidic oxide, and any oxide, if on dissolving in water it gives a base, it is a basic oxide. So we are reacting one acidic oxide, one basic oxide. What we will get is salt. Here example you can see SO2 plus CaO, acidic plus basic oxide. What we are getting? They will simply combine together and give us a salt. Second example, CO2 plus CaO, that is acidic and basic oxide, it will give a salt. That is simple methods, just combination of different atoms is happening. Next, third and the last method of preparing the insoluble salt is precipitation reaction. A precipitate will form. Precipitate means an insoluble salt will form. That salt will be insoluble in nature, that is coming out in the form of a precipitate. That is a PPT or precipitate will form here. Let us see the reaction that is going on. Here we will take a soluble salt and we will react it with another soluble salt, or we can take acid as well. So this is the general reaction. We will get the insoluble salt and the acid is produced. Let us see these equations, then it will be more clear. First one is barium chloride, that is a soluble salt reacted with acid. What we are getting here is barium sulfate. How it is so? That is by the exchange of the radicals. Barium, that is positive radical, Ba2 plus. Barium is Ba2 plus positive radical. It will combine with sulfate, negative radical, and we will get barium sulfate. That is, and here you can see the symbol downward arrow is put. Whenever downward arrow is there, that means it is a precipitate that is forming. Precipitate means insoluble salt has formed here. So barium sulfate is an insoluble salt. And another thing that forms here is the acid that is forming. All the reactions are similar here. Silver nitrate combines with AgCl, combines with HCl and forms AgCl, that is silver chloride. Downward arrow shows it is a insoluble salt, and nitric acid is the acid that is forming. So Ag plus combines with Cl minus to form AgCl, that is the insoluble salt. All the remaining equations are also similar. Now we will move on. Here some subparts of the same thing only are given. Some important reactions they are given separately. First is the preparation of the barium sulfate. How it is done? Barium sulfate is prepared from barium chloride. Barium chloride is a soluble salt. It is a soluble salt and it will produce insoluble salt. Insoluble is barium sulfate. So how it is done? That is by precipitation reaction. Barium sulfate combines with acid, and here barium combines with sulfate and forms barium sulfate. Remaining thing will be the acid that is forming, that is HCl. These equations, all these equations you have to remember. Second is given here, important reaction, that is silver chloride. How we can make? We can use silver nitrate with acid. Silver nitrate is combined with acid, it will give AgCl, that already I told. Next they have given about the carbonates here. Carbonates here, that is we can make insoluble carbonate using the soluble carbonates. Soluble carbonates are like of the sodium, potassium or aluminum, ammonium. So sodium carbonate here we have taken, that is a soluble salt, soluble carbonate, and it is used to prepare a insoluble carbonate using the precipitation reaction. So we have taken this zinc sulfate that is used in this reaction, and it combines with Na2CO3, that is a soluble carbonate, and it will react. Na2, that is sodium, will combine with SO4. Na positive will react with SO4. 2 minus, now Na2 is written, that means 2 sodium ions will be there. So that is why this salt is formed, that is Na2SO4 is formed. Another one is what? That is insoluble salt that is formed as a precipitate. Similarly, barium carbonate also can be formed using barium chloride and sodium carbonate. So this is how we can prepare different carbonate salts that are insoluble in nature. There is a special exception here that is given. We can prepare one of the insoluble salt, and insoluble salt can be prepared from another insoluble salt. Yes, in the carbonate what we have seen from the soluble salt we are getting insoluble salt, but there are some cases where from insoluble salt only we can make insoluble salt. What we have to do? First we will take that insoluble salt and convert that into a soluble salt, and using that soluble salt again we will do the reaction to make insoluble salt. So the reaction will proceed in 2 steps. First, insoluble salt convert to soluble, then that soluble one will convert to another insoluble. Example is lead sulfate. Example is lead sulfate, that is PbSO4. It is an insoluble salt and it can be prepared from another insoluble salt. We can take either lead carbonate, PbCO3, that is lead carbonate, or we can take PbO, lead oxide. These are insoluble salt, and using these we can form what is known as lead sulfate, another insoluble salt. Let us see the example here in the equations we have given. So anyone we can take. First let us see with lead oxide. We are using nitric acid, and what is formed is the soluble salt. This is a soluble salt, that is lead nitrate is formed. In the carbonate also, lead carbonate also is reacting with nitric acid, that will give us the soluble salt lead nitrate. And then this lead nitrate in the second step, now you can see here, this lead nitrate only is subjected to reaction with the another acid containing sulfate, that is sulfuric acid, and what we will get is lead sulfate is formed here. Now you may be having a doubt here that why we are doing this reaction in two steps. Why can't we do this? For example, we can take lead carbonate and do the reaction with sulfuric acid. Lead carbonate can react with PbCO3, can react with H2SO4, and directly we can get PbSO4. It is possible or not? So there may be a question, doubt may be arising. PbCO3 can react with sulfuric acid to form PbSO4. Why we are making this reaction so long? The reason is given here in the note that is given. So here, if we are doing this reaction with sulfuric acid of lead carbonate, what will happen? An insoluble salt will form. That is, lead sulfate is insoluble in nature. So when this reaction is done on this lead carbonate, there will be a formation of an insoluble salt. A layer of insoluble salt, that is lead sulfate, will form, and it will stop the reaction. The reaction will stop in between only. So that will prevent the further reaction. Reaction cannot proceed because it is an insoluble salt. That is why we are first of all we are forming a soluble salt. Lead carbonate is converted into soluble salt, and then that soluble salt is converted to lead sulfate. So we have seen the different the methods of the preparing the soluble and the insoluble salt in this video. So all the topics pertaining to salt are completed. There are certain properties of salt that are actually not in the syllabus that are mentioned here. We have these laboratory methods. Here also all the equations only we have to remember. Remaining procedure is not a part of the syllabus. Only the equations that are already discussed in the methods of preparation, and also the salt's properties. Here we have the properties of salt. So here also this is not a part of the syllabus, it is only for reference. But we will have a short discussion also in the next video that will be only about this exercise. We will discuss the exercise 3b in the upcoming video. Remaining when this chapter has been completed, and the chapter number 4 will be starting. That will be taught by Ankit sir. Chapter number 4, that is the last chapter for unit test first. That is all for this video. Thank you.